So a pretty personal video for me today, as I'm going to be talking about Michelle Skalnick, an actress. And let me tell you that I've probably never had a bigger crush on an actress than the one I had on Michelle Skalnick. Just an incredibly stunning girl, in my opinion. I first saw her in the movie Disturbing Behavior growing up in the 90s, and I was just immediately smitten. I basically fell in love with her, as much as one can fall in love with someone they've never met before. But for some reason, all that said, even though she died very young at the age of 27, I never looked into her death. I never thought it might be suspicious. Now, reports say she died of meningitis. So, I don't know, maybe I figured, an actress who's not that well known couldn't have been a sacrifice ritual. But as we're coming up on the anniversary of her birth, March 25th, which, by the way, is the 84th day of the year, I decided to actually start looking into her death, and I was actually quite blown away by what I found. So yeah, I'm not doing this video just because of my epic crush on her, but I genuinely found some pretty crazy stuff. But right away, just look and see that she was born the same year that Elvis died. And again, she was born on the 84th day of the year. She wound up dying on May 3rd, 2004. If we go from her birth date in the year 77 to her death in the year 2004, it's 9,901 days. Of course, 901 plus 9 is 910, like Charlie Kirk, which of course means if we included the end date, this would add up to 911. And you can also look at it like 99 plus 1 is 100, which means if you included the end date, 99 plus 2 would be 101. And yeah, that points to the year 26, as 101 is the 26th prime number. And you can also do 9 plus 9 is 18, so it'd be 181. You're 18 and 81 together. Of course, the 81st day of the year is 322, which is Michelle Trachtenberg's reverse birth date. Another Michelle who died at a young age. Not quite 27 young, but still pretty young at the age of 39. And also remember from my last video, the 181st day of the year is June 30th, the date of the Tunguska blast. You got your 6336. Now consider this February 7th. February 7th plus 1 plus 8 would be 216. You know, like the 216th day of the year, 8-4. And 27 plus 1 plus 8 is also 36. Plus you've got your 1, 2, 7 numbers in there, along with your 1, 8. And down here you have 325 months and 8 days. Now what are the odds of that? Because Michelle was born on 3/25. And 8 days after 3/25 is 4/2. That big date that's 162 days before 9/11. 162, of course, the 611 number. And if you just want to do the actual 325 plus 8, we get our big 333, which is half of 666. So loaded all around. And you want to know something really crazy? 325 times 8 is 2,600. Again, pointing to this year, 2026. What are the odds, huh? For real. But I'm here to tell you it gets even better. Because going back to this, 27 times 1 times 8 equals 216.84. I mean, come on now. And again, I can't believe I never looked into her death before, considering how huge of a crush I had on her and how young she died. But looking now, it was obviously long overdue, believe me. Now look over here, and we have 14 weeks and 3 days. What is 14 times 3, I ask you? Twin 42s. I mean, wow. And we're only getting started. Of course, 42 plus 42 equals 84. Now, as Michelle was born the same year that Elvis died, going from her birth date to Elvis's death date is 144 days. Remember, that's a very big number for a variety of reasons. I've shown you what it equals in the past, all the various things. But more importantly, for this decode, Michelle Skalnick's name in gematria just so happens to equal 144. And she was born 144 days before Elvis died. Again, I ask you, what are the incredible odds? Born on the 84th day of the year. And not only that, but she was born 4 months and 22 days before Elvis's death. Now, what is 4 months and 22 days into the year? 5/22, Memphis's founding date, The Gift, Tower Sacrifice episode air date, with another Michelle Trachtenberg. And 4 times 22, by the way, is 88. Just like 5 times 22 is 110. Remember in that episode, they were trying to open the hell portal. 88, the portal, trump, infinity number. And going back to Michelle's gematria for a moment, aside from all the things I've shown that equal 144 in the past, 144 is the 109th composite, like 10-9, Skull and Bones founding date. 63 is the 44th composite, 44 the kill number. The 90th composite is 121. The 121st day of the year is May Day, the day of pagan sacrifice. 280 is the 220th composite. Add up the amount of floors in both of the World Trade Center towers, get 220. And the 220th day of the year is 8/8, the Lionsgate portal date. 864 is the 713th composite. 713, Trump ear clip date, Shannon Doherty death date, the big 137. In Satanic, we have 669. Flip that 9 and it's 666. Right here, we have 261, which is your backwards 162, 611. And the 1199 in Fibonacci, the 1002nd composite, or your 10-2 Donnie Darko prophecy date. Now, going from Michelle's birth to Seattle Slew's Triple Crown win that same year, 2 months, 17 days. What just happened on 2/17 this year? We entered the year of the Fire Horse. Seattle Slew, the racehorse. It's also your weapons number. Weapons released on the 8/8 Lionsgate portal date. You know all about that movie if you've been watching my channel. Also, 2 months, 17 days into the year is 3/17. Again, the big 137 number. Backwards 713. Final Destination released on that date. Kurt Russell, who played Elvis and was with Elvis in that At the World's Fair movie, born on that date. Also, 11 weeks and 1 day. You're 111. See how Space Needle opened on the 111th day of the year. 9/11 leaves 111 days remaining in the year. Now check out this absolute insanity. If we go from the birth date of Seattle Slew to Michelle Skalnick's birth date, It's exactly 162 weeks. 6/11 is the 162nd day of the year. What are the odds? Is exactly 162 weeks between Seattle Slew's birth and Michelle Skalnick's birth on the 84th day of 1977. I mean, this is just mind-blowing. And I'm just now decoding her death despite having a crush on her for decades. I can't believe it. See why I had to do this video? Also, 1,134 days. 11 plus 34 is 45. Trump, of course, the 47 president. 3 years, 1 month, 10 days. Got your 110 in there. And remember, in The Gift, it was season 5, episode 22 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it aired on 5/22. 5 times 22 equals 110. 2 110s, each symbolic for the 2 World Trade Center towers. But Michelle Trachtenberg, the actual tower sacrifice in the episode's birthday, is 10/11. 10 times 11 is also 110. So it was really 3 110s in the episode. And 3 times 110 is 330. You're 33. 37 months, 10 days. 37 plus 10 is 47. Again, Trump, the 47 president. Or you can consider this March 7th. Add 10, and it's once again 317. But again, I just can't get over that big, huge, colossal, massive 162 weeks. Pure madness. Now, from Michelle's birth to Seattle Slew's death, 9,174 days. You've got a 91. Of course, Elvis, currently 91 years old. And you've got your 74. 74, of course, this year is huge with the 250-year anniversary of the country. Also, 91 plus 74 equals 165. Trump born on the 165th day of the year. Now, from Elvis's birth to Michelle's birth, 15,417 days. 5 plus 1 is 6. 4 plus 1 plus 7 is 12. 6/12. George Bush Sr. birth date, you're backwards 2/16/8/4. Also, 154 plus 17 is 171. That big number that relates to Southland Tales, among other things. Make sure to watch all of my Southland Tales videos if you haven't. In 42 years, 2 months, 17 days. Our 42, Elvis death age, 42nd state, Washington. With our 217, start of the year of the fire horse, weapons number, buildings 127 or 12-7 Pearl Harbor numbers. And it's also 2202 weeks and 3 days. You've got your 222 as above, so below. Order out of chaos number. 2202 times 3 is 6606. Of course, you can drop that 0. 666. And the percentage of a common year, we have our 84, our backwards 322 skull and bones, and our 42 all together. Go from Trump's birth date to Michelle's. 11 plus 242 is 253. The 253rd day of the year is 9/10, Charlie Kirk, which means if you were to include the end date, this would add up to 254, 9/11. Also 30 years, 9 months, 11 days. We got our 9/11 there again. And March 9th plus 11 is March 20th, which is today, by the way. And 320 is the 253rd composite. Again, 253rd day of the year, 9/10. And it's also 369 months, 11 days. You're 36 with your 9/11. 1606 weeks are your 166. And if we go from Michelle's birth to 6/11 this year, 17,975 days. 179 plus 75 is 254. The 254th day of the year is 9/11, and this is going to June 11th this year. You can also look at like 7 plus 1 is 8, 9 plus 7 plus 5 is 21, 821, which is the 142nd prime number. When is Memphis's founding date? When is the gift tower sacrifice air date? 5/22, the 142nd day of the year. We have yet another 217 here, and 49 plus 2 plus 17 is 61. 61 is the 18th prime. 18, Elvis. Also your 666 number. And 590 plus 17 is 607, or your 67 Elvis Jesse water number. And if we go from her birth to 8/4 this year, 18,029 days. 8 plus 1 is 9. 2 plus 9 is 11. 9/11. 18 plus 29 is also 47. Trump, of course, the 45-47 president. And 18 times 29 is 522. Again, Memphis's founding date, the gift tower sacrifice air date. I ask you, what are the incredible odds? Absolutely astronomical. And if that's still not enough somehow, some way for you, 1 times 8 times 2 times 9 equals 144. Again, Michelle born 144 days before Elvis's death. And her name equals 144. 49 plus 4 plus 10 is 63. Not only is 63 the 44th composite, your kill number, but the 63rd triangular is 2016, or your 21684. And this is going from her birth to 8/4. Now, as she's another Michelle, it didn't feel right not looking into how long it is from her birth date to Michelle Trachtenberg's death date. 17,505 days. 17 plus 505 is 522. Again, Memphis's founding date, the gift tower sacrifice air date, which Trachtenberg was in. Also, 175 plus 5 is 180. And if you say it like they do in the UK, 17/5, 5/17, that's the 137th day of the year. And of course, 5 days after that is 522. It's also 47 years, 11 months, and 1 day. That's your 47 with your 111. 47 plus 11 plus 1 is also 59. The 59th day of the year is 228. And 47 times 11 times 1 is 517. And 47 times 111 is 5217. 217 plus 5 is 222. Your as above, so below order out of chaos number. 575 months and 1 day. This is 57 forwards, 57 backwards. Trachtenberg died on the 57th day of the year. And 5/7 is the 127th day of the year. 575 plus 1 is 576, which is the 470th composite for your 47. Also, 57 plus 51 is 108. 2,500 weeks, 5 days. Drop the zeros, and that's 255. The 255th composite is 322, skull and bones. And remember, Michelle Trachtenberg's reverse birthday is 322. Also, 255 is the 200th composite. 200th day of the year is 7/19, Trump's reverse birth date. Now, if we go from Michelle Skalnick's birth date to Michelle Trachtenberg's birth date, it's 3122 days. Of course, you can drop that 1. 3 times 1 is 3. And it's your 322 skull and bones. And remember that 322 is Michelle Trachtenberg's reverse birth date. Also, 312 plus 2 is 314, your pi number or your pi date. And remember how Michelle Trachtenberg connects to Pi Day. via the blood moon eclipse. Born 17 days before a blood moon, died 17 days before a blood moon, and actually voiced an animated character named Blood Moon. And 3 plus 1 is 4, 2 plus 2 is 4, your 44 kill number. Also 8 years, 6 months, 16 days. 86 plus 16 is 102. The 102nd day of the year is Shannon Doherty's birth date. It can also be your 10-2 Donnie Darko prophecy date. And down here we have the 102nd day of the year, or 10-2 date in the months, with 16 days for our 2/16/84. Remember that Michelle Trachtenberg died 7 months and 13 days after Shannon Doherty died on 7/13. Also, Michelle Skalnick was born on 124 date numerology. Remember that the 124th composite is 162, our 611 number, and 124 can be read like 12-4, 412, Shannon Doherty's birth date. It can also be your backwards 421 Seattle Space Needle opening date. And she died on 32 date numerology. And wouldn't you know that 124 plus 32 equals 156? Remember, the 156 prime number is 911, and 156 itself is the 119th composite, the backwards 911. So it's the number that connects to 911 twice. Now, the film I most know her for, like I said, is Disturbing Behavior, which came out in 1998. Of course, that's the 666 year. And she doesn't have a huge role in the film, but definitely caught my eye. And notice that the film is 1 hour, 24 minutes long, and Michelle was born on 124 date numerology, as I just showed. And this film is very much worthy of its own decode, as it takes place in Washington State. High school senior Steve Clark is new to Cradle Bay, a picturesque island community in Washington State's Puget Sound. And it is directed by one of the guys who directed many of the X-Files episodes, and you know how coded that series is. But this is mainly about Michelle, so I will save that decode for later. I will, however, note that Katie Holmes is in this film from that Dawson's Creek show, and you know James Vanderbeek just died on the 42nd day of the year, and he was born on the 67th day of the year. His character in that film equals 141 in gematria, like World War III, June 11th, etc. And while it does deserve its own decode, I do want to show that Disturbing Behavior in gematria equals 203, which is the 156 composite. 156, our double 911 number. Remember that if we add up the date numerology of Michelle's birth date and death date, we get 156. And the film's initials, DB, that's your 42, Washington, the 42nd state. It takes place in Washington. Now, Disturbing Behavior came out on July 24th, 1998. From Michelle's birth to its release, 7791 days. Of course, Michelle was born in the year 77, and Elvis died in the year 77. And Elvis is currently 91 years old. 77 plus 91 is also 168. And the 168th composite is 2/16/84. 168 itself is the 128th composite. 77 times 91 is also 7,007, or your 77. And 7 plus 7 is 14, 9 plus 1 is 10, drop the 0, 141. That World War III, June 11th, Seattle Slew, Dawson Leary number yet again. And by the way, the 141st day of the year, of course, is 5/21, and the Pearl Harbor film premiered in Hawaii on that date. Remember, Pearl Harbor is what got the U.S. involved in World War II. So not only does 141 equal World War III, but the 141st day of the year is when the Pearl Harbor film premiered. Pearl Harbor got us involved in World War II. Consider this February 13th. Add 29 days. You once again land on 3/14, your pi date. Also 255 months and 29 days. Again, the 255th composite is 322, and 255 is the 200th composite. 719, Trump's reverse birthday, is the 200th day of the year. So how interesting then that 255 plus 29 is 284. Remember that Michelle Trachtenberg was born on the 284th day of the year, the day that leaves 81 days remaining in the year. 322 is her reverse birth date, the 81st day of the year. 81 plus 81 is 162, our 611 number. And remember 255, like I just showed you, the 255th composite is 322. And if you want to look at it this way, this can be two important dates, 25/5 or 5/25. Shannon Doherty's final date on 9/02/10, the George Floyd death date, Pearl Harbor's wide release date, and 5/29, JFK's birth date. Also 1,113 weeks. 3 times that big 111 number is 333, half of 666. Now in Disturbing Behavior, Michelle Skalnick plays Randy Sklar, which equals 107 in ordinal. 107 is the 28th prime number. Remember that 28 is a perfect number. My state, Texas, is the 28th state where JFK was assassinated. The 107th composite is also 142. Memphis's founding date is the 142nd day of the year, 522. Also the Tower Sacrifice air date with Michelle Trachtenberg. And 28 is always a loaded number. Again, my state, Texas, the 28th state. It's a perfect number. The 18th composite. And the 28th composite is 42. So that connects it to Washington. And Elvis, does that matter? For that matter. Sorry, I can't speak tonight. We also have our 44 kill number, our EL number. The 163rd day of the year is 6/12, George Bush Sr. birthday. You're backwards 2/16/84. 395 is the 317th composite. Our 317, 137 backwards 713 numbers. 335 is the 267th composite, like 2 were born. The 267s, Elvis and Jesse. 642 is the 525th composite. 525, again, Shannon's final date on 9/02/10, and all the other reasons that date is important. 457 is the 88th prime, your 88 Trump portal double infinity number, the Lionsgate portal date. And 334 is the 266th composite, your 66 twin number with a two twins. Just Randy equals 46. The 46th day of the year is 2/15, Seattle Slew's birth date. Remember the huge number with that. We got our 28 again. The 89th composite is 120, Trump inauguration day. The 35th prime is 149, JFK born on the 149th day of the year. And the composite is 5/1, May Day, the day of pagan sacrifice. 134 is the 101st composite. Remember 101 is the 26th prime, point of the year 26. 276 is the 217th composite. 217 the year of the fire horse. 217 the weapons number. Our 127 numbers. 221 is the 173rd composite, our big 137 number. And the 221st composite is 282. Skull and Bones was founded on the 282nd day of the year, and that can be your 162 or 216, depending on which 2 you multiply by the 8. 13 is the 6th prime and 7th Fibonacci for your 6-7, and its Fibonacci is 233. 233 is the 51st prime, again connecting to May Day, the day of pagan sacrifice. And with the 136 in primes, its composite is 177, which has the composite of 226. Michelle Trachtenberg died on 226, and it points to the year 2026. And last name Sklar, the 18th prime number. The 16th composite is 26, pointing to this year, of course. 249 is the 195th composite. Trump ear clip date, the 195th day of the year. Shannon Doherty death date. We have our 198 beast number, also equals President Trump, and the 198th composite is 253. 253rd day of the year is 910 Charlie Kirk. We have our event 201 number, our 74. Remember the 250-year anniversary this year. The big 444, which is half of our 888 beast system number. 236 is the 184th composite, which is the 141st composite, that 141 number yet again. And the character's initials are S, 18, 19. Add them up, get your 37 EL number. Now all of that, and we still haven't really taken a hard look at her death date. If we go from the release of Disturbing Behavior to when Michelle died, it's 2,110 days. Remember that the Gift Tower Sacrifice air date was 5/22, and that was season 5, episode 22. Again, the two 5/22s, 5 times 22, 110, symbolic of each of the World Trade Center towers, which had 110 floors each. So how interesting that this would have a 2 with a 110. So 2 times 110 are 220. And don't forget the 220th day of the year is 8/8, the Lionsgate portal date, weapons release date. Consider this May 9th, plus 9 would be May 18th. And 5/18 is the 420th composite. You know all about the 420 date, who was born on that date. Also Columbine, which happened on that date, and one of the supposed culprits born on 9/11. And it can also just be 599, which is the 109th prime, or 10/9, Yale Skull and Bones founding date. And 5 times 9 times 9 is 405, like 4-5, Trump the 45-47 president. 69 months, 9 days. Flip the 9s, have a 666. 69 plus 9 is 78. The 78th day of the year is 3/19. Chuck Norris just died on that date. Now, if we go from Michelle's death date to 8/4 this year, it's 81/28 days. 8 plus 1 is 9. 2 plus 8 is 10. 9/10. What happened on 9/10? Charlie Kirk supposedly assassinated. And this is going to 8/4, where Trump might potentially get his head wound. That, of course, means if you were to include the end date, this would add up to 9/11. Also, the 81st day of the year is 3/22. And the 128th day of the year is 5/8, Erica and Charlie Kirk wedding date. 81 plus 28 is 109, or 10/9, Yale Skull and Bones founding date. 22 plus 3 plus 1 is 26, pointing to this year. And 22 times 3 times 1 is 66, your twin number. Also have our upside down 9/11/01 here in the weeks. And you add 1 day, that's also your 6/11. And 222, order out of chaos, as above so below number, with a 226 Trachtenberg death date, or 2026 with an 8/5. 8/5 is my reverse birth date, the date that leaves 217 days remaining in the year, aka May 28th, the 148th day of the year, while 8/5 is the 217th day of the year, with 148 days remaining in the year, that 217 number. Now, from Michelle Trachtenberg's birth date to Michelle Skalnick's death date is 6779 days. Our 67 Elvis Jesse Water number with our 79 current Trump age and the age he'll be up to just after 6/11 this year, and we have our 77 right in the middle. And 67 plus 79 is 146, which is the 111th composite. Again, see how Space Needle opened on the 111th day of the year. 9/11 leaves 111 days remaining in the year. And 6 times 7 times 7 times 9 is 2646. 6 plus 4 plus 6 is 16 for your 21684. In the years, months, and days, read it backwards. It's 226. Michelle Trachtenberg death date, 81. Remember, Michelle's reverse birth date is the 81st day of the year, 322. You could also get another 216 if you multiply these numbers, but I'm not going to get into that. And 222 months, 22 days. So 22222. Multiply those numbers, get 4884, which is both the same forwards and backwards. And if we go from Michelle Skalnick's death to Michelle Trachtenberg's death, we have some interesting numbers up here with the 79 and the 969. You can flip those 9s, have a 666. But most important is this 261 months, 23 days, because backwards that's your 162611 number, and 2 times 3 is 6. The 162nd day of the year is in the 6th month. Also, 261 plus 23 is 284, and Michelle Trachtenberg was born on the 284th day of the year, 9 months, 11 days into the year. Both girls named Michelle. Both died very young. One a definite sacrifice, the other, unfortunately, looking more and more like a sacrifice. Now going from Elvis's birth date to Michelle Skalnick's death date, 2 plus 5 is 7, 3 plus 1 plus 8 is 12, 7, 12, when Benjamin Keogh, related to Elvis, supposedly died. When Kelly Preston died, it's our 12-7, buildings 127 numbers. 7 times 12 is 84, of course. And we also have our 253, 910 Charlie Kirk with our 18 Elvis birth date. We also have 69 years, 3 months, 25 days. Remember that Michelle was born on 3/25, the 84th day of the year, in the year that Elvis died. And 69 times 3 times 25 is 5175. May 17th, the 137th day of the year, plus 5 is 522. Memphis founding date, the gift tower sacrifice air date. Or you can do 175 plus 5 is your 180. Like Flight 180 from the Final Destination franchise. Basically a big 666 puzzle here in the weeks and days. From Elvis's death to Michelle's death, 9757 days. 9 plus 7 is 16. 5 plus 7 is 12. 16, 12. 16 plus 12 is 28. You know how big of a number that is. And of course, 16, 12, you can drop that first one, and it's 612. George Bush Sr. birthday, you're backwards to 16, 84. 9 times 7 times 5 times 7 is also 2205, or you're backwards 522. Memphis founding date, tower sacrifice air date. February 6 plus 8 plus 17 would be March 3rd, or you're 33. And just 26 plus 8 plus 17 would be 51, or your 5/1 May Day sacrifice date. And if we go from Trump's birthday to Michelle's death date, 211 plus 43 is 254. The 254th day of the year is 9/11. Or you can do 143 plus 21 is 164. The 164th day of the year is 6/13. In the Stand, the plague is released on 6/13 by Elvis fan Charlie Campion. It's also Taylor Swift's upcoming wedding date. 57 years, 10 months, 19 days. That's your 5/7. The 5/7 is the 127th day of the year when Seattle Slew died, with your backwards 9/11. So you got your 127 and your 9/11 together in this line. Of course, Michelle Trachtenberg also died on the 57th day of the year, and she was all about that tower sacrifice connecting to 9/11 as well. And 57 plus 10 plus 19 is 86. Like Michelle was unfortunately 86th. Now, was it by meningitis or was it by sacrifice? That's the question. And it's really looking more and more and just ridiculously like a sacrifice at this point, because 694 months, 19 days, add those up, get 713. Trump's ear clip was on 713. Shannon Doherty, born in Memphis, died the same date. Now, from Seattle Slew's birth to Michelle's death, 11,035 days. And 11 times 3 times 5 is 165. Again, Donald Trump born on the 165th day of the year. And 110 plus 35 is 145. The 145th day of the year is 525. Shannon's final date on 9/02/10, etc. From Seattle Slew's Triple Crown win to Michelle's death, 98 23 days. 98 plus 23 is 121. The 121st day of the year is May Day, the day of pagan sacrifice. Also interesting to note, we have a backwards 162 here, but more importantly, the 322 months to 2 days. And from the death of Seattle Slew to the death of Michelle Skalnick, 1 year, 11 months, 26 days. You're 111 with your year 26. And 111 plus 26 is 137. Your big occultic 33rd prime. And 23 plus 26 is 49. 33rd composite. Now, from Michelle Skalnick's birth to 9/11/01, 89 36 days. 8 plus 9 plus 3 plus 6 is 26, pointing to this year 26. Also, 24 years, 5 months, 17 days. February 4th plus 5 plus 17 would be 226. Michelle Trachtenberg's death date, all about that tower sacrifice, and pointing to the year 226. The 293rd day of the year is October 20th. 17 days later is 11/6, or your backwards 6/11. It's also your 317 or 137 numbers in there. And what is 29 days before 317? February 16th, or 216. Also, if you want to read it backwards, this is 713 with a 92, which is pretty funny because 713 was Trump's ear clip date, Shannon Doherty's death date. And 92 days before that was April 12th, Shannon Doherty's birth date. And she died on 713. I've got something big with the 9-2 coming up soon. Also, in the percentage of a common year, we have our backwards 228. Elvis died on the 228th day of the year. The Iran War started on 228, our 44 kill number, and our 42. And to finish this off in grand fashion, from Michelle Skalnick's death date to the 84-year anniversary of Pearl Harbor last year, 7,888 days, a 7 with your 888 beast system number. 7 times 888 is 6216, so it's got your 216 and 126 in there. And 78 plus 88 is 166, which is the 127th composite. And this is going from Michelle's death date to the 84-year anniversary of Pearl Harbor. It's also 21 years, 7 months, 4 days. Our 217 year of the Fire Horse with our big 7-4, the 250th anniversary of the country, which takes place in the year of the Fire Horse. Also our weapons number. And our Pearl Harbor 127 numbers again. 259 months, 4 days. 25 plus 94 is 119. You're backwards 911. And it's 2161.10% of a common year. That's your 216.84 with your 110. Of course, 110 floors in each of the World Trade Center towers. And before I forget, remember that they say she supposedly died of meningitis. You got your 119, backwards 911. It's also the 88th composite number. 39th composite number. 39, of course, is the 26th composite, pointing to this year. And Michelle Trachtenberg died at the age of 39. 18th prime number. We've got our 5-1, May Day, the day of pagan sacrifice. And the 501st composite is 614. In fact, 501 is the 405th composite. Year 45, Trump the 47 president, born on 614. And she was born in Kamloops, Canada, 126. Another Trump connection because the composite is 165, Trump born on the 165th day of the year. Also 45, Trump the 47 president. The prime is 197, or like 197719, Trump's reverse birth date, and the composite is 64. The Space Needle turns 64 this year, and that is a huge number. In fact, while 45, the prime is 197, 252 is the 197th composite. Again, your 719, Trump reverse birth date, and the 252nd prime is 1601. Your 611 numbers are upside down 911 numbers. 81, 81st day of the year is 322, Michelle Trachtenberg's reverse birth date. And the composite is 111. Also, it itself is the 58th composite, 58, Erica wedding date, the Stan premiere date. 361 in Latin, which is the 288th composite, which can be a 216 because 8 plus 8 is 16. And 288 is the 226th composite. Michelle Trachtenberg died on 226. And speaking of 226, we have a backwards 226 here. And 622 is the 173rd day of the year, your 137 number. And Fibonacci, our backwards 611, upside down 911. And just plain Kamloops, 102, Shannon Doherty, born on the 102nd day of the year, can also be your 10-2 Donnie Darko prophecy date. The 30th composite is 45. 311, aside from your 33, as it's 3 times 11, is also the 64th prime. Space Needle turns 64 this year, big number. Our 612, backwards 216, 325. Michelle Skalnick was born on 325 in the year 77. Our 42, and the 35th prime is 149. JFK born on the 149th day of the year, and the 35th composite is 51. And by the way, Kamloops area code is 250. What age is our country turning this year? 250. And to break down her name, just Michelle equals 67. So that would be the same with Michelle Trachtenberg. 40 is the 27th composite. 27th day of the year is 127. And the 40th composite is 57. Michelle Trachtenberg died on the 57th day of the year. And 57 is the 127th day of the year. So this connects to 127 twice. 149th day of the year is 529, JFK's birth date. 100 is the 74th composite. Again, the big 7-4 this year. We've got our 4-2. You know what that's all about. And the 402 is the 322nd composite. The 429th composite is 529, JFK born on that date. And 184 is the 141st composite. You know all about that by now. Seattle Slough, June 11th, World War III, Dawson Leary, all equal 141. And last name Skalnick equals 77. She was born in 1977. 77 is also the 55th composite, 55 the Satan number, 23. Now May 3rd is the 123rd day of the year. 123 is a murder code, and the 23rd day of the year is 123. 112 connects to a few things like 613, 147, etc. It's the 82nd composite, and 82 itself connects to 421, as it's the 82nd prime number. The 33rd composite, we have our 180 and our 322. Those are self-explanatory. The 357th composite is 444. 17, the prime is 59. The 59th day of the year is 228. And the 59th composite is 27. Again, the 27th day of the year is 127. And, of course, in Fibonacci, 611. In fact, in Fibonacci, her initials MS equal 254. 254th day of the year, of course, is 911. And her initials are also like Mississippi, where Elvis was born. So yeah, some pretty major connections with her that I never expected before. Hard to believe, and yet somehow not. All glory to God, and thank you for watching. And before I get how interesting that she died at the Lionsgate Hospital in Vancouver, British Columbia. Lionsgate. And the success of The X-Files led to its series creator getting another TV series called Millennium. Michelle Skalnick starred in an episode in Millennium's 3rd season. And three very interesting things that this is the episode she starred in. It is season 3, episode 3 for your 33. It takes place in Seattle, Washington. And the title of the episode is an acronym for the end of the world as we know it. Actually, make that 4 things as it aired on October 16th, 1998, which is your backwards 611. And this episode of the show starts out with a shooting at a Seattle high school. And there is a mysterious figure named Skylark. And it turns out that Skylark is a guy named Carlton King. So we have the King name. And his dad, Gary King, co-owns 14,000 acres of desert land in eastern Washington state. And it turns out that Carlton King and his dad, Gary King, are part of a compound believing the world is going to end. And wouldn't you know that Skylark equals 611 in Latin, the hardest cipher to find matches in. Carlton King has the 124, and so does Gary King. Remember, the 124th composite is 162. And the episode's title equals our Pearl Harbor 12-7. Our building's 127. Our 12 times 7 is 84. Also our EL number and our backwards 611. In the episode, Michelle plays a character named Kathy McNew. 123. She died on the 123rd day of the year, May 3rd. And again, 123 is a murder code. Also our 42. And how incredible is this? Because going from that Season 3, Episode 3 episode of the show that takes place in Seattle, Washington, and has a title that's an acronym for the end of the world as we know it, airing on 10/16, the backwards 611, going from that date to Michelle's death, 2,026 days for the year 2026. I mean, please, does anyone out there believe this is remotely a coincidence, because if you do, please let me know. Yeah, very, very long overdue looking into her death, to put it mildly. And Michelle was also in a TV movie called The Linda McCartney Story, of course, about Linda McCartney, who was married to Paul McCartney. So a Beatles connection to El Beast. And from Linda McCartney's death to Michelle Skalnick's death, 2208 days. You're 228. Iran war started on 228. Elvis died on the 228th day of the year. You also have your 616, which is the alternate 666, and 72 plus 16 is your 88. Portal Trump, double infinity number. And another movie Michelle was in was called Perfect Body, PB 162611. But anyway, now to finally end this, I'm going to go some distances within the same year. So from Michelle's birthday to Trump's birthday in the same year, it's 81 days. Remember, the 81st day of the year is 322, Michelle Trachtenberg's reverse birth date. And if we go back around again, it's 284 days. Michelle Trachtenberg, born on the 284th day of the year. And we just had 81, the 81st day of the year, Michelle's reverse birth date. 284 leaves 81 days remaining in the year. And of course, if it's 284 days, then it's 9 months, 11 days. From Trump's birth date to Michelle Skalnick's in the same year. And it just keeps going, because from Michelle Trachtenberg's birth date to Michelle Skalnick's birth date in the same year, it's 165 days. Trump born on the 165th day of the year. And 5 months, 14 days. 5 months and 14 days into the year is 6/14, Trump's birthday. And back around again, 200 days. The 200th day of the year is 7/19, Trump's reverse birth date. And it's 28 weeks, 4 days. Again, Michelle Trachtenberg, born on the 284th day of the year. Mind-boggling, isn't it? And from Michelle Skalnick's death date to Michelle Trachtenberg's birthday in the same year, with the end date included, 162 days, 6/11. And back around 6 months, 22 days, that's your backwards 226. Michelle died on 226. And 6 months, 22 days into the year is 7/22, which is 6/11's reverse date. From Trachtenberg's death to Skalnick's death in the same year, 66 days, your 66 twin number, which means if you include the end date, it would be 6/7. Also 9 weeks, 3 days. Michelle Trachtenberg's character Dawn, her nemesis in Buffy, was Glory, played by Claire Kramer, who was born on 9/3. The Hell Goddess Glory, who wanted to use Michelle to open the Hell portal. In this same year, Michelle Skalnick died 39 days before 6/11. Michelle Trachtenberg died at the age of 39, which of course points to the year 26, as is the 26 composite number. 1 month, 8 days are 1/8, Elvis' birth date. From Michelle Skalnick's death date to 8/4 in the same year, 93 days. Again, who did I just say was born on 9/3? Claire Kramer, who is also very key to this puzzle via the Gift Tower Sacrifice episode, and really the entirety of Buffy Season 5. From 8/4 to Michelle's birth on the 84th day of the year in the same year, 233 days. That connects to 5/1, the day of pagan sacrifice, May Day, as 233 is the 51st prime number. 7 months, 21 days. That's our Pearl Harbor numbers backwards. From Michelle's death date to Trump's birth date in the same year, 42 days. 1 month, 11 days, our 1/11. Go back around 10 months, 19 days, you're backwards 9/11. And 10 months, 19 days into the year is 11/19. You're backwards 9/11/01. From Seattle Slew's death date to Michelle Skalnick's birthday in the same year, 322 days, our skull and bones number. Also 10 months, 18 days, which is 11/18. As that's 10 months, 18 days into the year. And 11/18 is the 322nd day of the year. Skull and bones twice. From Seattle Slew's birth date to Michelle's death date in the same year, 77 days. Michelle born in 77. Elvis died in 77. Seattle Slew won the Triple Crown in 77. Back around, it's 288 days. 288 is the 226 composite. Michelle Trachtenberg died on 226, which is the 57th day of the year, and Seattle Slew died on 5/7, the 127th day of the year. In the same year, Michelle Skalnick, born 1 month, 10 days after Seattle Slew, you're 110. In the same year, Michelle Skalnick is born 76 days after Elvis. 2 months, 17 days, which again can also be 3/17. Back around, 9 months, 14 days into the year is 10/14, Charlie Kirk birth date. 41 weeks, 2 days, or 4/12, Shannon Doherty, born on 4/12. Nicholas Brendan from Buffy, born on 4/12, and he just died. Born the same exact day as Shannon Doherty. What are the odds? For Michelle's death date, back around to Elvis's birth date, 250 days. This is the big 250-year anniversary of the country. 8 months, 5 days. 8/5 is my reverse birth date, the 217th day of the year. And what are the odds that if we go from Elvis's birth date to Michelle's death date in the same year, 3 months, 25 days, and Michelle was born on 3/25 in the year Elvis died. Of course, include the end date, and this 115 becomes 116 days. You're backwards 6/11. And by the way, mentioning Shannon Doherty reminds me that I forgot to go from Michelle's birth date to the Butler ear clip date and Shannon's death date. 17,277 days. 172 plus 77 is 249. And you may be asking yourself why that's important. Well, get a load of this. 249 is the 195th composite number. Shannon Doherty died on the 195th day of a leap year. Same day Trump got his ear clip in Butler. Again, incredible, incredible odds. This will easily wind up being my longest video to date. And 1 plus 7 is 8. 2 plus 7 plus 7 is 16. 8/16, Elvis's death date. And 47 times 3 times 18 gives us something interesting, as it equals 2538. Of course, the 253rd day of the year is 9/10, when Charlie Kirk was supposedly assassinated. And the next big potential assassination date is in August, the 8th month, Trump's 8/4 Ohio head wound. Not only that, but 5 plus 3 plus 8 is 16, 2/16, 8/4. And from Michelle's death to 7/13/2024, 7376 days, our EL number with our George Bush Jr. birth date, and 73 plus 76 is 149. JFK's birthday is the 149th day of the year, and he suffered a head wound. And go from Michelle's birth date to 7/13 in the same year, it's 110 days. Of course, that means with the end date included, it's 111 days. 3 months, 19 days. Chuck Norris just died on that date, which is 84 days before 6/11. 15 weeks, 6 days, our 156, which you know connects to 9/11 twice. Now, if we go from Shannon Doherty's birth date to Michelle Skalnick's death date, it's 12,075 days, 120 plus 75. Incredibly enough, is 195. Again, Shannon Doherty died on the 195th day of a leap year. And from Shannon's birth to Michelle's birth, 2174 days. That's your 217, start of the year of the fire horse, with this big 7-4 that happens in the year of the fire horse. 71 months, 13 days. 71 plus 13 is 84. And this can also be your 713 Shannon Doherty death date, because you could drop the 1. And don't think I forgot about Claire Kramer, Michelle Trachtenberg's nemesis in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. From her birth to Michelle Skalnick's birth, 934 days. 934 just so happens to relate to JFK's assassination date, 11/22, as it is the 934th composite. And again, Claire played Trachtenberg's nemesis. 2 years, 6 months, 22 days. That's our 2-6, and our backwards 226 when Michelle died. All 2026 codes. And February 6th plus 22 is 228. Same as it would be if you went 226 plus 2. 30 months, 22 days, 322 Skull and Bones. Again, Claire Kramer wanting to sacrifice Trachtenberg atop the tower. But this isn't going to Michelle Trachtenberg's birth date. It's going to Michelle Skalnick's. 133 weeks, 3 days. Drop the 1, 333. And this has already been an explosive video, but let's end it on an especially explosive note. From Claire Kramer's birth date to Michelle Skalnick's death date, 10,835 days. 8 plus 3 plus 5 is 16. 10, 16. You're backwards 611. And when did the episode of Millennium that Michelle Skalnick starred in air? 10/16. 26 days before her death. And 835 plus 10 is 845, which gives us 10/16 again, because it is the 845th composite. February 9th plus 8 is 217. And 29 plus 8 is our 37 EL number. And exactly 356 months. And this is going from Claire Kramer's birth to Michelle Skalnick's death. 356 is the 284th composite. Michelle Trachtenberg born on the 284th day of the year. Need I say more? So yeah, as it turns out, I really should have looked into her death sooner. But I guess I just wanted to believe that it wasn't what it seems like it is. But rest in peace to her. Rest in peace to Shannon, Michelle Trachtenberg, etc. All glory to God. I know this is a long one, but if anybody lasted till the end, I genuinely appreciate you watching. Thank you.